let that go because we know this is important to everybody here, but now we're going to have to do some double duty, because one of the things we really wanted to do with this meeting was not have you be talked at the whole time and have you be able to get in circles and actually have conversation. So I'm going to do my next 10 minutes in maybe 2, and that's not going to be easy for me. The community conversations piece, I'm going to just focus on the canvassing concept. That's the next thing on the agenda. This is the way we want to organize our neighborhoods, and it starts by people who volunteer to canvass, offering to canvass either their block or another block in the city, and this is how we're going to try and diversify here a little bit and we only had 3 or 4 people from District 4, we need to have more, so we may ask people who live in Districts 1 and 2 to canvass in District 4 or 3. But the concept is you do a block. You're not going to Democrats, you're not going to high voters, you're going door to door to people. And out of that process, you then organize a block meeting of the people. And the concept and the reason we're having Deb talk to you about listening is that the script and so forth will be not about trying to convince anybody of anything. It's like, what's on your mind? What's bothering you? What are your aspirations? How are they being met? How are they not being met? Etc. And out of that, we get to get a better understanding of what's on people's minds. Then at the block meeting, we share that among the group, have conversations, get to know each other, and take on a community project. And the kinds of community projects could emerge from what Renee was talking about in terms of adopt a park and beautifying the city and so forth, but you do something together. Again, the purpose of this is to create community. The third thing you try and do at this meeting, actually that's the second thing, and only other thing, is that you try and identify 4 people who will do the blocks on either side of that block. And so by doing that, you then have 5 blocks organized. You repeat that one more time, and you have 25 blocks organized. Not organized, communicated with. And then the process continues, and what we want to then start having are city council district meetings where those people and those blocks that have been communicated with come together and start to develop what we're calling a people's platform. Policies and practices and budget allocations that make sense to us as people, and we use that as a means of having dialogue with our city council members. There's more to it than that. There's going to be a breakout for it if that sounds interesting to you, but I got to just keep it to that. The second thing is rattle the GOP. And that's time sensitive, so I have to lay this out. I would guess that 90% of the people in this room come from some other state than New Mexico. And New Mexico, we don't really need to call Ben Ray, we don't really need to call Udall or Heinrich and tell them you gotta oppose Trump. You just don't have to do that. So where is our power base? Our power base is a lot of you are semi-retired or retired, and a lot of you have people in other states that you can contact in states that might be blue or at least have one representative from the Senate that is a Republican and can be pressured. Now, I don't know how much you've seen lately, but the Republicans are starting to reel from the amount of pressure they're getting from their constituents, and not just left-leaning people like us, but from people who voted for them. And so your task is to go out and look at your address book, find people who live in other states, contact them either by phone or by email. By phone is much better, and you're gonna have to get out of your comfort zone. As long as you stay in your comfort zone, you're not gonna get anything done. This is the biggest tool we have here in Santa Fe to get something important done. Because if you can activate a half a dozen people in St. Louis or in Pittsburgh or in Phoenix, those people have Republicans they can talk to. And Retake Our Democracy has all kinds of tools and scripts and everything else for making it very easy for them to activate. So we're going to be asking you to do it, and you need to do it. Okay. I mean, we really need to. We're at friggin'. Oh, she hates it when I say friggin'. We're at war. It's like that right now. We have everything we cherish at stake right now. and we need to do something about it. And that might mean getting out of your comfort zone and actually getting on the phone with an aunt who you never talk politics to, and you're going to talk to her about it, because she may be scared too. Yeah. All right. I didn't quite do it in 2 minutes, but I tried.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I just want to make a quick comment that when we gather together like this, we are stronger and we learn from each other. And I guarantee you, nobody in this room is going to regret being active during these times. A few years go by, you're going to regret if you're not active. So thank you so much for being here. It's really going to make a difference.
We're about 10 minutes over, and I apologize for that. But how do you interrupt our city councilor talking about sanctuary in a day like this, you know? And so all I want to do in 1 minute is to really drive home one thing. It's great to have all of you here. It's great to be forming this community. But if you don't do some of the things we're talking about, we're going to get creamed. And if you do the things we're talking about, we're going to get a bigger community and a bigger community, and it's going to connect some dots, and we're going to get some stuff done. Now, for the next 2 years, it might be rough waters on a federal level, but we can do some really good things in the city of Santa Fe, and in doing that, we can feel our power, build our relationships, build our connections, build our understanding. I heard a couple people talking about not knowing how the government really works. On our website, there is, and I'll reference it tomorrow because I referenced it once, there's this is how a bill gets passed in the Roundhouse. And it's very clear, very succinct. And this is how a budget is developed in the Roundhouse. And these are the issues involved in the revenues. These are the things, as Reverend Barber says, budgets are all moral or they're immoral. Yeah. And so if you don't understand how they're developed, they're just going to be developed by somebody else. So we need to get better at understanding, and that takes time, your time. We try and make it simpler, and we try and make that stuff more accessible, but you've still got to spend the time reading it and absorbing it and knowing where it is and then sharing it with other people. And so please, 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 when you get a blog from us, I have people tell me all the time, oh, the blogs you and Roxanne do are so great. Send them to 10 friends and follow up with them. That is how we will build our base. Thank you very, very much. We've got some important stuff to do. Let's do it!